Okay, next up is Life During Wartime, a film described as a somewhat of a sequel to the brilliant 1998 film Happiness, written and directed by Todd Solondz. Now, while it still portrays the same mentality of adults who seem immune to happiness, that of course having it themselves, they give each other those around them, and that the happiness only exists in the children, and of course Smoltz writes it in a way where, you know, it's their lives are doomed basically, and just a ticking time bomb, I guess you could call it. It just doesn't seem to have that same appeal and interestingness that Happiness had. Now, here Smoltz creates some of the same characters, yet with different actors playing them. Now, again, when you're going to make a sequel, or at least with the same kind of characters, wouldn't you try to get some of these actors back? It's not as if the actors that did the first Happiness film are that high maintenance to get for an indie film like this, or for Smoltz's respected filmmaker to work with. Now, of course, there's just also a major lack of understanding here, and this is a major hindrance to this movie. And Solondz doesn't do much to fix it here. For one thing, the characters, again, like I said, they remain the same, but they have different actors. Alan, once played by Philip Seymour Hoffman in the first film, perhaps maybe one of the earliest films where people took notice of him, and just came out shortly after his good performance in Boogie Nights. He's become now a black man, played by Michael Kenneth Williams, and whose downward spiral seems to have not worsened over the years, just he's stayed the same, doing different kind of things. That's kind of weird to describe. The character of Joy this time is played by Shirley Henderson, a normally pretty talented actress, whose character is stuck in these restaurants, of course, seeing ghosts of these misery men, as we call them. One, of course, known as Andy, who is now dead, torments her at these places, and he's actually played quite well by Paul Reubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman. Yes, believe it or not, he's actually quite good here, and quite convincing as an eerie, creepy man. Big surprise, huh? Anyway, Trish, played by Allison Janney, another great actress, has moved to Florida to help her children escape the reputation of their pedophile father. They think he's dead. But Bill, now played by Kieran Hinds and played a million times better by Dylan Baker in the first film, is on parole and unwisely wants to meet his older boy at college. I know, roll eyes now. Trish is dating Harvey, played by Michael Lerner. Now, he's so devastated by a divorce that he's forgotten how to perform, to the degree where he remembers he's sure that he can't hit Trish's younger son Timmy, played by Dylan Riley Snyder, in a performance that really evokes a lot of good sympathy, and is preparing for his bar mitzvah when he discovers his father was a pedophile. Yeah, that kind of creates some tension there. Not good, and this is not good news on a day where he's supposed to become a man. Anyway, Trish has tried to break with her past and start anew in Florida. Helen, played by Ali Sheedy, of course, from the Brat Pack in the 80s, with such films as The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire, is her sister and is a thriving Hollywood screenwriter, driven and unfulfilled. Joy is the third sibling, of course. And now, I gotta say, one of the best performances in this film as Charlotte Rampling, the last woman in the world who you would think that Bill, of course, the pedophile, would ever should get together with for a grown-up relationship. These people live in interiors as barren as demonstration homes. They don't have much stuff around them, and Ed Lockman, the cinematographer, almost sees them on a stage set suggesting the rooms where they live. This is the Solondz world. I think he's brilliant, personally. I mean, he's a brilliant filmmaker. He evokes so much of his own point of view, I guess, of the world as he sees it, and is appealing and compulsive. You can imagine his screenplay is being read aloud in such just a great voice. You know what I mean? And when he's good, he's very good. In films like Palindromes, of course, storytelling, and Welcome to the Dollhouse, my personal favorite by him. Few can touch him when he's that good. Here, he's made a film that is just sad, without energy, and dead in the water. It's a sequel to Happiness. It regards the same lives, but then as tragedy, but now as dumb, dark, comedic, farcical trash. While the movie isn't terrible, the actors do as well as they can. Solondz just seems to be lost in his own world now, and just doesn't know how to get out. And that's the sad thing about this movie, is that it just cannot appeal to the same type of people who loved Happiness back in 1998. Now, it's been 12 years, and again, it's not one of those movies that has that kind of impact enough where it can sustain a sequel for that long. Now, the actors I said are good, but Happiness had the likes of course, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Dylan Baker, Lara Flynn Boyle, Jane Addams, even John Lovitz. I really don't think anyone could even equal what they did in that film. I don't even think if they returned for this film, could have saved it. So, still, it was still just not the kind of movie it could be. Life During Wartime gets 2 stars out of 5.